Okay, everyone, welcome to the City of Myst weekly demo game. This is the first weekly demo game that we're going to do, and this is the setup phase. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about City of Myst and how we're going to play it, and we're going to then switch to another video where we're actually going to play today's adventure, or as we call it, a case. So just to let you guys know, City of Myst is a super-powered detective game inspired by comic books and film noir, kind of detective comic, where you play ordinary people with great powers in a city where everything is hidden. Nothing is what it seems. Strange powers, strange forces operate in the city, and a part of your job is to expose these forces. So when you play City of Mist, your team, your crew, as we call it, can be all kinds of different things. You can be vigilantes working to protect the people of the city. You can be kind of a professional team that does different jobs, or you can just be people helping each other to find out where their powers came from, what's the origin of their powers. So just to say a couple of words about the characters in the game. The characters in the game are unique. They're described by tags, descriptors that are completely unique, and that's what gives you your power in the game. I'm going to explain about it in a minute. Each character is built around a kind of inner struggle or kind of a conflict. Each character has 4 themes. Some of them belong to her legendary side, and they're called mythos, and others belong to her ordinary side, and they're called logos. And these themes demand something from your character, so you're always going to have to do things in accordance to your themes, or you will gradually lose them. And I'm going to show you the mechanics for it soon. So I'm not sure how much of that we're going to be able to see in one game. But if it comes into play, it'll be nice. So you each have your characters. Do you want to, which are part of the the 7 pre-generated characters for the City of Mist Alpha? You want to present them? Maybe Christopher, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm a Mistois. Mistois?
Mitosis, yeah.
Yeah, he is a playboy who was an ex-boxer playboy who was before he drive into a truck with some biodrill thing and he turned into a monster, right? Basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Justin?
And hi, I'm Justin. And so the character I've got out of the pre-generated characters is Declan Lestrange, and he perceives that he's possibly wandering through a reality of his own construction, or like a dream reality and actual reality, and he's sort of trying to make his way as an antiques dealer, and he's also has a gun at his side, and he is not prone to being trigger shy. And that's Declan Lestrange.
Cool. And Lloyd?
Hi, I'm playing the Excalibur, whom I have named as Ashanti Wieshoden, who is for all intents and purposes, a very wealthy woman who comes from a very wealthy and dysfunctional family, who has discovered an item that allows her to wield any weapon of her choice, and is using it to try and change the world through the power of social activism and going out there and beating up bad guys at night.
Okay, fantastic. So let's take a look at your character sheets, and I'll explain exactly how City of Mist works. Right. So I'm sharing my screen now, and as you can see, we're looking at another character, Fire Salamander, who's a city waterworks waterworks worker. He works for the city, but he started having dreams about this burning reptilian figure, and he was able at some point to produce a nimbus of plasma, this burning plasma, and that's his power. I'm going to start actually with the back of the sheet that has your themes. So each character has four themes. They're divided between mythos and logos, and the number of themes you have in mythos and logos gives you your mythos and logos rating, which we'll use in some cases. Each theme has a bit of color text, as you can see, obviously a name, but the main point in the game are the power tags, because the power tags make your moves work and basically allow you to act in the game. So each theme has 5 to 6 power tags. So we can see things like Burning Whips, Plasma Barrier in the Nimbus of Plasma theme, and he's also a kind of this really good person, but also very handsome. So he's a bit of a heartthrob, and he's charming, and he has handsome, and he's brave, and he's friendly. So he's more like the typical, Good Samaritan kind of character. And he has his city water worker tags, and so on and so forth. You also have weakness tags. Weakness tags are tags that can come into play, and I'll explain exactly how in a minute, and kind of impede what you're trying to do. So, for example, as an upcoming crime fighter, Fire Salamander is a known vigilante, so some people can already recognize his face, especially crooks. So this is an example for a weakness tag. For now, we're going to ignore the bottom part. It's more advanced aspects of the game, but at the top, you can see 2 bars for each theme. The Insight bar for the Mythos teams, or the Growth bar for the Logos teams, which is kind of like XP. When you do things that help you evolve, you mark those bars, and when you hit 5, you can get additional tags. And the Fade and Crack bars, Fade for Mythos and Crack for Logos, which are, as I said, if you neglect your themes, you mark these these boxes in the bar, and when you mark 3, you actually lose the theme. So this is a very, this is something you might not want to lose. It's up to you. When does this happen? Each theme has a mystery or an identity. So for Fire Salamander, the upcoming Crime Fighter theme has the identity of I must battle crime in all its forms. Whenever in the game you're going to do something that doesn't fit, this identity, I'm going to ask you to make a roll that's called Make a Hard Choice, and if you go against your identity, you're going to mark Crack. Same goes for his mythos. He has a very mysterious mystery. It's the other characters have things that are more clear, but for him it's a big question. How can fire and water be one? So if Fire Salamander would encounter anything like that would help him solve this mystery, not following this thing would may cause him to mark Fade. So this is just the Logos and Mythos thing. I hope we can touch on that. And now we can maybe move to how you make moves in the game. This is your character. So I'm going to switch to another important page, which includes all the basic moves. So the way you make a move in the game, is by basically choosing one of the core moves. Now, any of the core moves operates in the same way. You count the number of tags that you have that are relevant for the action. So if you're trying to investigate in a certain way, for example, Declan Lestrange is an archaeologist. If he's trying to investigate something related to that, he can use that tag. Or if you're trying to strike someone down as mitosis, you're using the tags that he has for boxing, or the tags that he has for increasing his muscle, instant muscle building. So basically, the game works on how relevant the tags are for your action. Whenever you want to make any one of the moves, you just count the tag. Of course, you say what you want to do in the game story, and you count the number of tags that are relevant for that. And that's your modifier. You add it to the roll, which is always a 2d6. Always two six-sided dice. And that's basically your roll. Now, the number of dice that you're adding is called your power. And that matters because in some of the moves, the power also determines how much damage or how much clues you get, how much damage you do, and so on and so forth. Weakness tags reduce your power. So if you decide to put your weakness tag into play, you get one less power. It kind of, it reduces your power by 1. If normal tags, power tags, add 1 to your power, so weakness tags reduce your power by 1. But when you use them, you get to mark growth or insight. So the theme that you're using the weakness tag with evolves, basically. I can also trigger your weakness tags as an MC, as a game master. In this game, it's called MC, Master of Ceremonies. It's based on Apocalypse World, and but you still get to mark experience when you do it. So all the moves work the same way. You just count the number of tags, remove the number of weakness tags if you're using any, and roll a 2d6 and add it. Now the results are always treated in the same way. If you got 10 or more, it's going to be a clear, very strong success. If you got 7 to 9, it's going to be a success that's kind of combined with a bit of complication. And if you roll 6 or less, the total is 6 or less, it's basically a failure or a complication, and then I make a move against you. So the MC here doesn't roll anything. The NPCs have no rolls. The NPCs do things when you fail your rolls. This is a very narrative system. So just to go over quickly the core moves, we have investigate. If you want to get knowledge, it doesn't have to be by investigation. Even if you start chatting to people on the street or you're hacking a computer system, that's investigate. Convince is whenever you try to influence someone or talk someone into doing something, whether you're seducing them or threatening them or persuading them, that falls under the move of convince. Face danger is a very important move. Face danger is the move that you roll when you get hit or affected by an influence or when you try to dodge a hit, and then you use your defensive tags to counter that. It reduces the effect that you're going to take. Hit with all you've got is the classic attack move, but you have to have a clear shot. So if you're in a kind of a skirmish and everything's very messy, and you're maybe close quarters combat, and you can't really get a clear shot, you won't be using this move. This move is for when you have an opening and you go for it. The next move is go toe-to-toe, which is more for those situations when you're clashing with someone or in a competition for control. And it could be anything. It could be martial arts fight. It could be a psychic struggle to control someone's mind. The next move is change the game, which is whenever you are going to try and give yourself an advantage or your allies an advantage, or try to give your enemies a disadvantage, you're changing the game. So this allows you to add new tags, remove tags, create area effect tags, and so on and so forth. Sneak around is whenever you're doing something discreetly or secretly. It could be swiping someone, stealing a wallet, or it could be even lying to someone. And the final move is take the risk, which is whenever you do something dangerous or chancy, like walking on a ledge, or get all flashy and try to do acrobatics, stuff like that. So you don't have to remember any of the moves during the game. When you say what you're going to do, I'm going to suggest what move I think is going to be the most relevant. And as you can see, each one of the moves has a different interpretation for the 10 plus and the 7 to 9. So it offers us some directions where things can get complicated, or what are the effects of your moves, how much damage you do, and so on and so forth.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I use my weakness stat as a strength?
Yeah.
If I try to imitate one and I have the weakness stat that the monster is, or something like that, to be oddly, I think.
Yeah.
Can you use that as a strength?
Generally, weakness tags mean that it's something that doesn't help you so much. But yeah, if you're trying to threaten someone and you're using monstrous, as an MC, I can say, okay, that makes sense. You can use it as a power tag.
Ah, okay. And if I'm an eating competition, I'm always hungry.
Yes, if you're in an eating competition, always hungry is going to work for you. But usually, weakness tags are some things that tend to work against you.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
I use
question about the moves?
I have one more. Can I use weakness and power at the same time?
Yeah, you can use any tag that you have at the same time, and multiple tags as well, of course, to get a bigger bonus. And when you use them, they counter each other. One of them adds to your power, and the other reduces your power.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a form of conditions in this game called statuses, but I think we can just start, and as we get to statuses, we'll see how they affect you. But I will say this: statuses reduce your power. So if you have a status of 2 that, like hurt, and you're trying to do something where hurt impedes you, they're going to reduce your power as well. So you want to avoid statuses, unless they are positive statuses that your friends give you as part of their support. I think that's it. We also have the other set of moves, which is the Mythos and Logos moves. And I'm only going to mention one at this point. No, sorry, I'm only going to mention 2 at this point, which is Make a Hard Choice. That's the move you roll when you go against your identity or your mysteries. And Stop Holding Back. Stop Holding Back is basically it's the move you roll when you try to use your powers in a very extreme way, or a scale that we've never seen before in the game. That's when it's a kind of a wager between me and you. I'm gonna write a price on a piece of paper. What's the price going to be? And there's a couple of options there, and you're going to tell me what. This is after you tell me what you want to do, and then if you roll well and high enough, I will show you the price before you decide whether to go or not go for it. If you don't roll high enough, if you roll 7 to 9, basically you have to decide on your own, maybe by looking at my face, if you want to pay the price or not. And if you roll 6 or less, you lose control of your powers at that point. So it's another kind of complication. But this move allows you to do anything you can think of with your powers. You just have to pay a price that sometimes it's a high price. So, Christopher, you've had a couple of thoughts already, so you can go for it.